Constable Zungu regarding the involvement of his father in the following terms, that the only involvement that he talked about was that you wanted confirmation from an elder from his side to confirm that he knows the accused persons before court, especially accused 1 and 2. And that's where he now involved his father to come and confirm that they are related to accused 2 or accused 1, either or both. So his father didn't mention his father as the source of the information that you relied on to tie accused number 1 and 2 to this case.
My Lord, like I said, I was not here when Constable Zungu testified, but also after meeting his father, after he assisted me to meet his father, when I interviewed the father, he was not in that office. I excused him. That's the first part. Secondly, after obtaining the statement from his father, I did not discuss what I'm going to do insofar as the investigation is concerned with Constable Zungu. There was no need. So, but there was a meeting, and out of that meeting, that statement from Absalom Zungu, my Lord, was then taken. But I did not discuss as to what am I going to do, what I'm relying on. The only time where now I had engagement with Constable Zungu, it's when his name was cropping up as I was obtaining statements from witnesses that says he was there on the 26th. And that's when now I approach him, and subsequently then he made a statement to that effect, my Lord.
Izolo ke nkathi sesimake noma sesiqeda ke ngishilo ke kuwena ukuthi nkathi ethula ngobufakazi bakhe la enkantolo uConstable Zungu wathi ukuthi ke ubaba wakhe ke naye abe khona, kwakuukuthi ke wena ke wawufuna nje umuntu omdala womndeni ozoqinisekisa lokho ayekusho ukuthi ke uyabazi noma ke kuyihlobo ke umsolo wokuqala nowesibili, yileso izatha ukuthi baba wakhe uyena owamtshela noma ke owasho ukuthi ke information le ibuya kuphi. Nanjoba bengishilo ke izolo ukuthi ke uConstable uZungu uyena ke ongitshele ngobaba wakhe, futhi uma ubaba wakhe ke eseza ke manje ukuthi ngamcela uZungu ukuthi aphumeke kulelo office la engangine interview noma ngikhulumisana khona nobaba wakhe. Emuva kwalokho ke ngase ngithatha istatement, angimtshelanga uZungu ukuthi kuzokwenzekade emuva kwalokho, uphenyo luzohamba kanjani. La esengiphinde ngihlangana khona noZungu kuke nkathi igama lakhe ke liloko livela uma ngikhulumisana nomfakazi, ngambiza ngasho ukuthi igama lakho liyavela, wasenginikeza ngestatement naye.
And you said the 2 witnesses that mentioned Zungu's presence at Basotho Hostel on the 26th of 10/2014, where Makosonke Zungu and Gwabeni Zungu. Is that correct?
That's my recollection, my Lord. The statements are in the docket. I'm not sure if there could be anyone extra, but his name does come up by those 2 people, my Lord. If my recollection, I think, is correct, and I can just go to those statements if perhaps we need to verify that.
Ushilo ke ukuthi abantu ababili ekuyibona ke besho njalo ke bekhuluma ngegama lakhe uConstable Zungu, kwakuMakhosonke Zungu kanye noGwabeni Zungu. Yebo ibona bobabili, angicabanga ukuthi ukhona ke omunye, kodwa uma kuyukuthi kufanele siqinisekiseke singabheka istatement zakhe.
And how did you come to know about Makosonke Zungu and Gwabeni Zungu?
It was in the course of the investigation, my Lord. As I indicated, after obtaining the confession from accused 2, certain names were mentioned. Where they met, that was mentioned. Who is their names? I think even Gwabeni's name is also there, my Lord. So one had to follow, in collaborating the affidavit, and that is how now the list came up of those witnesses.
Kwenzeka kanjani ke ukuthi wazi ngoMakhosonke Zungu kanye noGwabeni Zungu ukuthi ke kungenkathi ke uphenyo luqhubeka, futhi nakusona ke istatement noma ke ugonyulo kwenziwa uyena umsola wesibili uyawasho ke lawo magama, lapho ke ngicabanga ukuthi nalo igama likaGwabeni likhona lapho, ilapho ke alandelelwa khona ke lawo magama lawo.
Are you then saying, Brigadier, in HH and JJ, did accused number 2 mention specifically the names Makosonke and Gwabeni Zungu?
No, I don't think Makosonke is mentioned, my lord, but perhaps if I can be given indulgence to go to it, my lord. The name that I recall is Kwabeni, my lord, but as I said, because the scene, the address of Basutin Hostel was mentioned, in collaboration, you visit Musa's places and the names that are given there, and that is how Kwabeni, whose real name is Sifiso Zungu, was then found. And when he gave his statement, he mentions other people that was present. Even Simpiwe, for example, I can indicate, my lord, that in the confession of accused 2, he mentioned, I think, Simpiwe Buthelezi. That Simpiwe Buthelezi was mentioned, and through that investigation, you get names of people who were present, and that is how these witnesses were identified, approached, and subsequent statements taken. So you'll have perhaps like Simpiwe being mentioned. Simpiwe is approached, he mentions other name. Kwabeni's approach, whose real name is Sifiso Zungu, his approach, he confirms that indeed all the 5 accused was there, but he mentions other people, including Sizwe Zungu, because that's what made me to approach him, because then Sizwe Zungu was not, there was no accusation, my lord, labeled against him, except to say he was present. So that is how these names came up, my lord.
Usho ukuthi ke manje ku statement sakhe umsola wesibili ke le okhuluma ngaso HH kanye no JJ kunama lamagama uSifiso uMakhosonke Zungu kanye noGwabeni Zungu. Cha angicabanga ukuthi ke uMakhosonke Zungu yena ke umshilo igama elikhona ke lapho, futhi ngicela ke ukuthi ngeke ngibheke istatement leso, igama lika Gwabeni Zungu. Futhi ke kuyashiwo ke nokuthi ke iBasuthu Hostel indawo ke ekwahlanganwa kuyona ke, ubese uyaya ke khona lapho eBasuthu Hostel ukhuluma naye ke uGwabeni Zungu. Uma ukhuluma noGwabeni Zungu ukunikeza yena ke amanye amagama uMakhosonke negama lika Simpiwe nalo ke liyavela lapho, futhi igama lika Gwabeni Zungu ke uSifiso Zungu kuvela negama lika Simpiwe Buthelezi. Uyaqhubeka ke uphenya ngaleyo ndlela uthi ukhuluma nomuntu akutshele yena ke ngamanye amagama, yileyo ndlela ke ekutholakele ngawo lamagama. Nakanye naye futhi uSizwe Zungu, uma khulunywa ngoSizwe Zungu akushiwongo ke ukuthi uSizwe Zungu wayeyingxenye naye ke yalokho kwenzeka, kodwa nje ukuthi wayekhona lapho.
The reason I'm asking you whether Gwabeni specifically is mentioned in either HH or JJ, accused number 2 will tell this court that he does not know Sifiso Gwabeni Zungu.
My lord, if he's disputing that he mentioned it, can we then go to those exhibits to make it easy? Because I seem to recall that it is mentioned.
Isizathu sokuthi ngikubuze ukuthi lawo magama khona ke lapho ingoba ke umsola wesibili uthi yena ke uSifiso Gwabeni Zungu akamazi. Uma kuukuthi ke uyakuphika ke lokho, ngicela ke ukuthi siye kuzona ke lezo statement lezo.
Are you?
I'm on it. Or you want me? Is it
no,
fine?
No, let me proceed because I'm going to deal in detail with HH and JJ. You can verify that at your own time.
All right. Okay then. Yes, we can proceed, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now, you've stated that the statement of Absalom Zungu was obtained on the 17th of November 2019. Is that correct?
2019.
17 November
2019.
2019, correct?
Correct, my lord, yes.
Ushilo ukuthi ke istatement sakhe uAbsalom Zungu sathathwa sona ke nge-17 November 2019 yabo kuyiqiniso.
And then the statement of Constable Zungu was obtained on the 30th of May 2023 whilst this trial was proceeding, correct?
Yes, it was taken while this trial is proceeding, my lord, that's correct.
30 May, which year, sir?
30 May 2023.
Ushilo ukuthi esa Constable Zungu sona ke statement esathathwa nge-30 kuMay 2023 ngenkathi ke icala leli liqhubeka yebo kuyiqiniso.
Okay. Now, you had stated that I think the first time you met Constable Zungu was when?
It was much earlier. I don't think I gave a date to it, my lord, but it was much earlier, and the circumstances was that he went to the office of the National Commissioner. Yes. I was called from there to say there is someone who's got information about this matter, and that's how I met him.
So shilo ke ukuthi ke Constable Zungu yena wahlangana naye nini, angicabanga ukuthi ke ngishilo isikhathi noma ke i-date, kodwa kwakungaphambi kwalokho yena ke wahamba waya kwi-office lika-commissioner ila engabizwa khona ukuthi kunomuntu one information, ngahlangana naye ngaleyo ndlela.
And that first time at the National Commissioner's office, was this here just next door at the towers?
At the telecom towers.
At the telecom towers.
Correct, yes.
Yebo kulana nje lamahhovisi la ala eduze abizwa ngokuthi ke i-Telecom Towers.
And that initial meeting, did he then furnish you with information that he had regarding the suspects that he had knowledge that they were possibly involved in the commission of this offense?
No, so what he said, my lord, hence I wanted to see the father. It was insofar as what his father told him, as the father indicates that he told his son. So he narrated that information, that my father told me this information about the involvement of these people, and I said I will need to speak to his father because he's narrating something that is in between, and that is why the meeting was then suspended, and there were discussion that he must try and convince his father to come and see me. Hence, the meeting then took place, my lord, late in the year, towards the end of the year in November, because when we parted, the understanding was that he's going to try and convince his father to come forward because the father didn't want to come forward in fearful of reprisal. He just wanted to give the information and hoping that we can carry on with it. And I said to him, you are a police officer, you understand that such information needs to be confirmed by the person who told you, otherwise it's going to be just hearsay and hearsay, my lord.
Ngalelo langa mangihlangana naye ke yena ke kwakuwukuthi nje angitshele lokho akutshelwa ubaba wakhe ukuthi ubaba wakhe ke unalokhu akwaziyo ke athi labantu laba noma abantu abathize nengxenye ke noma ke babe khona ke kulesigameko lesi ila manje ke umhlangano lowo ke wase umiswa khona ke ukuthi yena akakhulumisana nobaba wakhe ukuthi ubaba wakhe eze ngoba kwakuwukuthi ke ubaba wakhe wayengafuni yena ukuthi eze ngaphambili kwakuwukuthi nje udlulisa lelo lwazi lolo thina ke siyiqhubekele ngophenyo lwethu ngase ngimtshela ukuthi uyiphoyisa uyazi ukuthi ke uma kune information ekanje kufanele ukuthi iqinisekiswe kuloyo muntu ingakho ke manje kamuva ke isikhathi sesihambile sasesihlangana ke naye ubaba wakhe.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to repeat the gist of what Zungu said in court regarding the events at the hostel unless it is necessary. But before Constable Zungu approached you, do you know whether or not he had approached a certain Brigadier Leshabane with the same information that maybe he furnished you or a different version of that information?
It is contained in his affidavit, my lord. I know it insofar as he told me when he was now opening up to say this is what transpired, and he mentioned the name of General Lishabane. It's a retired General Lishabane, my lord.
Ingaba uyazi yini ukuthi ke nkathi uZungu noma uConstable Zungu eza kuwena ke ukuthi wayesehlangene yini no Brigadier othize uLishabane angitshela kona ke ukuthi ke ngokalesi sikhathi ke manje esekhuluma ke lokho akwaziyo wangitshela ukuthi ke kuno general kwaku general retired osedlomhlala phansi manje uLishabane.
Major General Lishabane, my lord, was his cluster commander at that time, because that's the general I also had to phone when we lost communication in terms of the numbers to assist me in finding Constable Zungu.
Futhi ke uMajor General Lishabane ngaleso sikhathi ke kwakuyikommander yakhe ke noma ke kwakumuntu owayesebenza ngaphansi kwakhe ke yena ke uConstable Zungu. Ingakho ke uma manje sekungaseko kwakusengasekho ukuxhumana phakathi kwami naye ke uZungu ngafonela yena ke uMajor General Lishabane.
My lord, just for housekeeping, during Constable Zungu's testimony, my learned colleague, Advocate Baloyi, for the purposes of admitting provisionally the utterances and some of the testimony of of Constable Zungu, intimated to the court in reply of the court's question whether this Brigadier Lishabane was going to be called by the state, and that intimation was positively confirmed. Now sitting here, having been told that Brigadier Geninda is the last state witness, there's that issue that crops up.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yes.
The state has to decide. Mr. Baloyi, are you calling Lishabane?
Yes, we did consult with Major General Lishabane,
Right.
and subsequent to the communication that my learned friend referred to, we have since decided not to call him.
Who's your learned friend?
So we will make him available.
Wait. Who's your learned friend? Who's your learned friend?
No, Mr. Ramsepeli.
So you did discuss it with Rabu?
No. I'm saying subsequent to the communication that he's referring to.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, that
then
he's
you
referring
discussed
to.
this matter with Shaban.
Yes, we reconsider the matter as to whether we will call Major General Shabani, and we have since decided not to call him.
Okay.
And he'll be amongst the witnesses that will make available to the defense
Okay, fine.
after the closure of the state case.
All right.
As the court pleases, that's it.
Kule nkulumo ke uyaveza ke uMr Ramsipile ukuthi ke umbuso wawushilo ukuthi ke yena ke uGeneral Lishabane bazombiza njengofakazi usephendula ke umshushisi uthi cha manje bathathile ke isinqumo sokuthi abasambizi ke ukusho ukuthi ke abameli bazoba nethuba ke noma ilungelo lokuthi bangambiza ke bona njengofakazi.
Now, Brigadier, having agreed with Constable Zungu that you need the source that he's relying on for part of the information that he's giving you, especially regarding his father, you then arrange that he must bring his father, and time passes by, and eventually you meet up with his father, obtain a statement from him, right?
Correct, my lord. But in between the first time we met to the time I met his father, there were engagements between myself and Constable Zungu. As I said, my lord, prior to that it was telephonic communications where I'll be phoning him because we exchanged numbers to try and establish how far is he in convincing his father to come forward. So I know that there were challenges at that stage. The father was not willing to come forward, as I said, my lord, because he was scared. Now, fast-tracking towards the date of the 17th, my lord, I then tried to call him, and there was a difficulty in getting him in a number that he gave me. That then led me to me, because I knew he gave me this information that is working under General Shabane in that cluster in Tembisa. I then phoned Major General Shabane, who confirmed indeed that such a member works for him. And then arrangements, my lord, were made for us to meet first on the 12th of November 2019, which did not materialize. And then the next meeting took place on the 13th of November 2019. I was with Brigadier Perumal, and it is in that meeting where Constable Zungu confirmed that his father, he has been able to convince him to come through. Now, subsequent to that meeting of the 13th of November, an arrangement was made that he would bring his father on the 17th of November, and indeed he brought his father, and the statement was taken, my lord.
Okwenzeka ke lana ukuthi ke sasiqhubeka ke phakathi kwaleso sikhathi eza ngaso nesikhathi ke kwakufanele noma ke ubaba wakhe eze ngaso kusasiqhubeka ke mina naye ke siqhumana ke ngoba ke ngamnikeza amanamba ami naye wanginikeza ke awakhe futhi ke kodwa ke kwakuneyinselelo ezazikhona ke kuyofika ke kuleso sikhathi leso ubaba wakhe ekufanele ukuthi eze ngawo ila kwakhulunyiswana khona ke manje ukuthi ke ngaphambi kwalokho ke kwase kukhona ke ukungaqhumani ngila manje ngoba wayengitshelile ngaphambilini ukuthi usebenza ngaphansi kwakhe uMajor General Lishabane ngase ngiqhumana naye ke uMajor General Lishabane ngempela ke washo ke noma wavuma ukuthi yebo lelo lunga lelo lisebenza ngaphansi kwakhe kwavunyelana ke ngomhlangano wange-12 kaNovember 2019 okay lowo ke umhlangano awuzange uphumeleleke kwavunyelwana futhi ngazo i-13 kaNovember 2019 uBrigadier Perman ekhona ke uZungu wasesho ke kulowo mhlangano wange-13 ukuthi ke cha ubaba wakhe manje usevumeleke ukuthi eze ngaphambili ila ekwahlangana khona ngeyi-17 kaNovember 2019.
Now, is Brigadier Perumal's other name Tony? Because when Constable Zungu testified, he says he met you in the presence of Brigadier Tony.
Yes, that's his name. Perumal is the surname, my lord.
Ingaba ke uBrigadier Perman lena igama lakhe uTony yebo ke uPerman isibongo sakhe bese kuthi igama uTony.
Now you meet up with Constable Zungu in the presence of Brigadier Tony. I believe it was in Kempton Park.
It was in yes, it was that's correct. Falls under Kempton Park. That's correct.
Kuyiqiniso masihlangana ke sahlangana eKempton Park.
Is that now the time when he tells you that I have got information that accused 1 to 5 are involved in the matter?
No, I don't recall that, my lord. The sequence of events, as I've said, the purpose of meeting him there was the follow-up insofar as the father is concerned, and he confirmed that he convinced the father. Subsequent to that, then an arrangement insofar as the father, in relating to the information of that affects accused 1 and 2 is concerned, is confirmed that the father is willing to come forward.
Yeah.
Then on the 17th of November, the father does come forward and the statement is given. Then the analysis insofar as 1 and 2 is concerned starts. At that stage, my lord, as I said, I had no knowledge of 3, 4, and 5. Focus, and in terms of the statement that was given to me, was 1 and 2. After 1 and 2 were then approached and interview started, as a result of the confession of accused number 2, 3, 4, and 5 then comes into the picture. And then the statements, then further investigation is done. That's where you find the likes of Sifiso Zungu, Makosong, and all those witnesses in beefing up. So on that day, the focus was on 1 and 2, and the father came and confirmed the information of 1 and 2. I had no knowledge of the other accused, my lord.
Ingabe ke uma nihlangana ke ngalelo langa yilelo langa yini akutshela ngalo ke ukuthi manje u1 2 3 4 and 5 na babe khona ke kwisigameko lesi cha uma sihlangana ke lapho kwakuwukuthi ke ezositshela ke noma ezosho ukuthi ke usephumeleleke ekuthini akhulume nobaba wakhe ukuthi ubaba wakhe ke eze ubaba wakhe ke ngempela wezakhe ngazo i17 zika November 2019 ila manje aqinisekisa khona ke noma asho khona ke ngokubandakanyeka kwakhe umangalelwa nomsolo wokuqala nowesibili kwathathwa istatement ke kuyena ke ngaleso sikhathi leso ke kwakungekho ingangikwazi noma ke ngangenalo ulwazi ngo number 3 4 and 5 ila kuleso statement esathathwa khona ke kwase manje kuyaqala ke ucwaningo mayelana naye ke umsolo wokuqala kanye nowesibili lapho ke kuyistatement eyivelayo noma elandelayo kamuva ila abashoyo ke manje noma bakhuluma ngabanye abasolwa sekuvela ke manje namanye amagama abozungu.
Now when specifically regarding the information about accused number 1 and 2's alleged involvement, did you obtain a statement from him there and then regarding that information that he provides you?
Mr. Zungu,
Yes.
Constable Zungu?
Yes.
No, it was not. I didn't, my lord. I didn't see it necessary. He's telling me, the father, it's a hearsay. He was not privy to that information directly. That's why I wanted the father to try and close, because where would that statement take me, my father? That my father told me this, and he was not present. That's why I insisted that I need the father, my lord.
Uma engitshela yena ke uConstable Zungu ngaye umsolo wokuqala nowesibili angizange ngithathe statement labo ngoba lokho angitshela kona yinzwa bathi sizongithatha singisekuphi ke leso statement leso ngoba uyangitshela ukuthi ubaba wakhe ungitshela lokho ingakho ke ngathi kuyena ke akalethe ubaba wakhe ngizokhuluma nobaba wakhe.
My apologies also, my lord, I forgot something. When the question was asked as to whether what I knew, when I answered that what I knew when I was talking to Constable Zungu and his father, of course, was about 1 and 2. What was also contained in the docket, what I knew, but I had not approached that the suspect, is that insofar as the docket is concerned, there was an entry where accused 4 was cited as a suspect by the previous investigating team, the first investigation team, due to the information that I had. And I'm saying what I knew so that I put the correct context, is that he was once a suspect. They pursued him, but they didn't make headways. So the only name in the docket that was appearing in the diary was insofar as accused number 4 being mentioned specifically and approached as a suspect involved in this matter. And that information, according to the investigation diary, was coming from the father of the deceased, where he received this information that accused 4 may be involved. But it seems the first investigation team didn't succeed in linking him a lot.
Just a moment. Just a moment, Mr. Ramsey. Okunye futhi ke kunombuzo engiwubuziwe ke lana ngokuthi ke ngangazi noma yini lokho engangikwazi ke mayelana ke futhi noma ke angishongo ukuthi kukhona ke okwakubhaliwe kubhalwe kulona ke idokodo futhi ke ithimba elaliphenya noma ke ithimba lokuqala elaliphenya ukuthi ke kwakubhaliwe ke kulona ke idokodo ukuthi ke umsolwa wesine waye ekhonjiwe ke noma ke kushiwo ke kukhulunyiwe ngaye nanjengomsolwa ke futhi ke bamlandelela ke kodwa ke akukho okwenzeka ukona lokho nokuthi futhi lolo lwazi lowo noma leyo information leyo ke yayibuya kuyena ubaba kamufi.
My Lord, sorry, just to add one thing also in context, then the captain that was in charge, that was investigating at that time, it's Captain Mutetwa, made a statement because I did approach her insofar as the entry on the diary. And then subsequently she made a statement to this effect, which we disclosed to the defense.
Nokuthi ke futhi ke ukapteni noma ke ucaptain owayephenya ke ngaleso sikhathi ke kwakuyena ucaptain Thethwa ngoba ke lokhu kwakubhaliwe kulona ke idokodo ngase ngiyake kuyena noma ngikhuluma naye ke ucaptain Thethwa wasenza istatement mayelana lokho.
Brigadier, I think you misunderstood my question initially. I understand that you were waiting for Zungu to convince his father to come. His father comes on the 17th. A statement is obtained regarding the father's hearsay that he heard from somebody else.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now I'm asking you specifically. Zungu gives you his other part where he says, I have personal knowledge that accused 1 and 2 are involved. Am I wrong?
No.
What does it say?
At what stage? Maybe let's just understand.
After you had obtained the father's statement, when did you meet Zungu? Because I want the sequence to be clear.
Yes, but that's what. So the sequence is as follows, my
Yes.
Lord. We deal with the father.
He's out of the picture.
He's out of the
Yes.
picture. I didn't have anything that says Zungu was present, so I did not speak to Zungu about the involvement of the other accused. The only time where I start approaching Zungu is after investigation has been done and the likes of Sifiso Zungu, Makosonke mentions, at certain stage they call him a uncle, but they do say a policeman. So I was curious to know who is this policeman. That investigation led me to him because they places him at the hostel when it is alleged that all the 5 accused met and planned this matter. That is when I approach him, and when I approach him, that is now after the statements were made. And he says, no, I will come and give you the statement. But the reasons that he gave to me, my Lord, is that he was scared because I had to take it up with him, but to say, why didn't you come forward with this information? And he gave me the long history, my Lord, that I'm saying is contained in his statement that, he gave this information to the generals. I don't want to go there, my Lord, because it's contained there. And because of the manner in which the situation was treated, then he was scared. But when he was approached, he then told me, my Lord, his involvement.
Ngokubayelana ke noZungu ukuthi uZungu yena manje ungitshela nini ke ngaye umsolo wokuqala nowesibili ke shilo ukuthi saqala ngobaba wakhe ke manje sengiqedile ngobaba wakhe ke uma seniqhubeka ke nophenyo sengikhulumisana nabo ke omakhosonke laba ila manje igama lakhe ke Constable Zungu livela khona ke uma bembiza bathi umalume baphinda bathi yiphoyisa ngase mina ke manje ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi ubani leliphoyisa leli ila engiyakhona ke ngikhuluma naye ke mangimbuza ukuthi kungani ngaphambili ungangitshelanga ngalokho wasengitshela ke izinto eziningi ke lezi ezikhona ke kudokodo ngabo general engafisiki ukuthi ngiyiphinde ke nokuthi wayesaba nokuthi futhi lecala leli ke laliphethwe kanjani.
So when he told me, my Lord, maybe to try and answer it specifically about his knowledge, he included all the accused. So he didn't first tell me about 1 and 2, and then at a later stage tell me 3 and 4. The statement that he gave to us included all the 5 accused, my Lord, including 1 and 2, my Lord.
Angiphendule ngalendlela ke ukuthi uma esesho ke manje ukuthi ke yini yena ayaziyo ke akashongo akakhulumanga ngomsolo wokuqala nowesibili and then kamuva ke asekhuluma ke ngabanye wakhuluma ngabo bonke uma esinikeza istatement washo ukuthi wakhuluma ngabo bonke abasolo.
Yes, I'm interested in that part then. When he told you about the alleged involvement of all the accused persons, when was that?
It's during that period when he gave us a statement, my Lord. So when I followed him, as I said, there was fear, my Lord, from the explanation he gave me. But when it opened up to say, look, I'll tell you the truth, arrangements were made, he came, and that statement was then made. It was typed, and then he signed it, my Lord. So there were no statements to say, he's telling me now, the statement is taken later. I picked up his name much earlier, approached him, He was scared and saying, Brick, I'll come and see you, come and see you. But eventually when we meet, and then that statement, my Lord, came to life. That's the essence of my response.
Impendulo yami ethi ke uma esekusho ke lokho ingalesikhathi noma ngaleli langa ke istatement sakhe esenziwa ngalo hayi ukuthi ke washo ke manje kusase statement esithathwa kamuva ke kwakuwukuthi ke athi breaking ngizozake kodwa uma egcineni sesihlangana ke ila esekhuluma khona ke istatement sakhe sabhalwa ngalelo langa lelo.
Let's clarify, Brigadier. I want to be clear on this point. The statement that you referred to, is this the statement of 30 May 2023?
Yes, he only made one statement, my Lord,
Okay.
to us.
Yebo ngikhuluma ngestatement sange 30 zika May 2023 ingestatement esisodwa kuphela asenza kuthina.
But when he makes that statement, already accused 1 to 5 are in custody on warrants of arrest.
Yes.
So when did he implicate them? Because they were arrested in 2020.
No, that's correct. You are right, my Lord.
Yes.
If you take Zungu's statement out, you'll
Yeah.
realize that we're already in the middle of the trial.
Yes.
We're busy.
Yeah.
There were statements. When I applied for the warrant of arrest, it was based on what is contained in the docket. And one of the two people that I can mention that implicates all the accused is this Senzo Meyiwa. That statement is there. It was taken prior, I think it's around June 2020. That was before they were indicted. Simpiwe Buthelezi implicates accused 3 and 4 specifically. I'm just going to specifics in terms of the evidence that we have. Simpiwe Buthelezi. So there were statements in the docket, my Lord, other than Constable Zungu that implicated all the accused prior to him giving the statement. So when the application was made, it was based on the statements implicating all the accused before Constable Zungu.
Okay, you said Simpiwe Zungu.
Simpiwe
implicated
Buthelezi.
who and who? Sorry.
3 and 4.
Okay. Simpiwe Buthelezi. Manje ke
Zungu, it's all of them.
sure.
This is
Just-
Nasifiso.
Sorry, my lord. Manje ke ngalesikhathi kuthathwa istatement sakhe uConstable Zungu ngey'date zika May 2023 abasolwa ke manje sebengaphakathi ke sebevalelwe ke manje yena ke ukhuluma nini ngabo ukhumbuleke ukuthi uma kwenzeka ke lokhu icala lolu bese liqulwa bese kade liqulwa enkantolo futhi ke ngaphambi kwalokho kuney'statement ezazi khona futhi iy'statement ezikhona kwidokodo la khona ke uSifiso Zungu yena ke kwakungoJune ka 2020 yena ke ekhuluma ngabo bonke abasolwa ukuthi babe khona bese kuthi yena ke uSimpiwe Buthelezi yena ke esho noma ke ekhuluma ngomsolo wesithathu kanye nowesine.
There was also, my Lord, a statement that I recall. I'm talking about now statements prior to Zungu's coming in, made by, I'll just have to check the name, but I know that is a gentleman from Rustenburg who implicated accused 4 in terms of the interaction that he had with him. So I'm trying to recall evidence that we had prior to Zungu's statement submission and the application of the J50 warrant, my Lord.
Manje ke ngizama nje ukuthi ke ngikhumbuleke istatement ke ezazikhona ke noma ebezikhona kade ke ngaphambi kokuthi uConstable Zungu enze istatement khona ke istatement kuzofanele nje ngibheke igama noma ngikhumbuleke igama umlisa owase Rustenburg yena ke ekhuluma ke noma esho ngokubandakanyeka kwakhe umsolwa wesine.
Okay. Now, an issue arose during the cross-examination of Constable Zungu regarding the statement that he made. At first, when I cross-examined him, and Mr. Advocate Munisi followed that up as well, whether or not he made a written statement, he agreed that he made a written statement under oath, and the court gave him an indulgence and security to be provided to him to go home because he said the statement was at home in KwaZulu-Natal. And upon his return to present that statement, he then said that it was simply notes, cryptic notes that were made on pieces of paper, and that those cryptic notes were then shredded. Are you aware of that information?
I'm not aware of the sharing. We didn't discuss that, my Lord. What I'm aware of, I do recall that he had notes when he was making the statement. It was not, because if it was a written statement, even if it was handwritten, I would have just taken that statement because he's a police officer. He knows the crafting. So the statement that he made, my lord, was the type 1, which he signed, and it was commissioned, and that's what we filed in the dockets.
Kwakunodaba ke olayivela ke uma ngangimhloma ke imibuzo yena ke uConstable Zungu naye ke uadvocate Mnisi kwabe sekulandelela ke lokho ila inkantolo eseyathi khona ke akaphelezelwe ke kuhanjwe kuyiwe ekhaya ayobheka ke ngoba ukhulume ngestatement asenza kodwa uma ebuya ke wathi cha kwakuhama notes kuphela ke ngabuya kwazi yini lokho angikwazi lokho ngoba uma kwakuukuthi kwakuyistatement nje esasibhaliwe noma sasibhalwe ngesandla ke ngangizosithatha ngoba yiphoyisa uyazi ukuthi ke kusetshenzwa kanjani kodwa ke istatement lesi esasithayichiwe ke.
Now, and I don't want us to go into the details of those meetings. Constable Zungu also testified, besides interacting with General Leshabane about this matter, he also held meetings at Purkop with General Leshabane, Warrant Officer Makubo, and I'm not sure about his title, whether he's a brigadier or a general, Shadrach Sibia. Did he tell you about that?
I think it's mentioned in a statement, yes, he did tell me about that meeting, my lord, and it's contained in his affidavit.
Ngicabanga ukuthi ke wangitshela ke ngalo mhlangano lowo naku statement sakhe sikhona mayelo lo owawusekuloko nabo ke olishabane osibiya nabo Makhubo.
And did he also tell, in fact, let me go to that aspect because it goes to this issue of who's the source of the information, and that is on record Constable Zungu's testimony. He says at that meeting with General Leshabane and Shadrach Sibia, he was then asked, you come to us with this information. Who is the investigating officer? And he says at National it is Lieutenant Colonel Geninda. I think that was your title at the time. And then Leshabane then said Makubo must be called because he's also involved in the investigation. And indeed Makubo then arrived at that meeting. And Zungu was asked to repeat the information that he had furnished to the two senior officers about the involvement of the accused persons herein. And critically, Warrant Officer Makubo asked him, who is the source of your information? Constable Zungu did not. He doesn't say that he declined, but he says he did not provide the source of the information. And based on that, Warrant Officer Makubo told him, you are coming to us with baseless information. And over and above that, you are not telling the truth about accused number 5. Because that accused number 5 that you say you saw in Tembisa, he's already in custody, and I, Makubo, have arrested that person personally. Hence, the meeting, when it ended, did not resolve anything because Makubo told him, unless you come to us with the source, then we are not going to listen to your claims because they are baseless.
My lord, I was not there.
Yes.
So I won't really be able to assist much, really.
Lana ke umeli utshela ke ubrigadier ukuthi ke yini eyakhulunywa uZungu noma ke eyenzeka ke kuloyo mhlangano lowo owabanjelwa khona ke eKlorko la ekwakhona ke uLeshabane uGeneral Sibia wasethi ke uGeneral uLieutenant Major General Leshabane akubizwe yena ke uMakhubo empela ke uMakhubo wabizwa wase eza ke uMakhubo wafuna ukwazi ke kuyena ke uConstable Zungu ukuthi ke lokhu onako noma lokhu okuletha kuthina ke ukuthola kuphi noma ke ubani okutshele lokhu ila uZungu khona ke ngazange abatsheleke wasethi uMakhubo ke cha lokoza nako kuthina ke into nje engaphatheki noma akunalutho kulento osiphathelene ke ngoba ke umsolo wesihlanu lo wena okhuluma ngaye ngisikhuluma nje na ke usesitoksini futhi ke waboshwa yimina ke manje lokho ositshela kona ke asilona ke iqiniso uthi ubrigadier ngangingekho lapho akukho ke engingakuphendula ngikusho mayelana nalokho.
And furthermore, and we are not also going to the content of that meeting. Did Constable Zungu tell you that he had a further meeting with the two other officers that you testified that were co-opted to come and assist in this case? That is Warrant Officer Makubo and Joyce Buthelezi, separate from this meeting of including Shadrach Sibiya and Shabane?
Yes, I do recall that, my lord.
Ungaba wakutshela yini ke uConstable Zungu ukuthi waphinde ke waba nomunye umhlangano ngaphandleni kwalona ke siqeda ukukhuluma ngawo kanye naye ke nalala amaphoyisa ke amabili nawo ke ayithimba eliphenyayo uMakhubo kanye noButhelezi? Yebo, ngiyazi ngalowo mhlangano.
Now, when you spoke to Constable Zungu, did he tell you that he had previously furnished the photographs of accused 1 and 2 to General Shabane, or did he personally furnish you with photographs of accused 1 and 2?
No, I don't recall, my lord, him saying he furnished a photograph to General Shabane. I don't recall, but what he told me, my lord, in essence is contained in his affidavit. That's our interaction.
Angimkhumbuli ke engitshela uConstable Zungu ukuthi wanikeza ke ngeyithombe kamsolo wokuqala nowesibili ku Major General Shabane, kodwa angitshela kona mina kukhona kwistatement sakhe asenza.
Now, you've mentioned the names Gwabini Zungu and Makosonke Zungu, and that you have obtained statements from them, right?
That is correct, yes.
Uyiqiniso ngestatement engayithatha ke kuMakosonke Zungu kanye futhi naye ke uGwabini Zungu.
And who else that was allegedly at the hostel to corroborate Zungu's narrative that there was a party, there was drinking, he was with the accused persons and other homeboys from his homeland? Who else did you obtain statements from?
I'll have to check, my lord. I do recall that there's Jack Buthelezi. I'm just not sure whether he was at the hostel on that day as well. There's a couple of statements that we obtained that implicates the accused, individually, collectively. So one will have to see whether they implicate them on different days or on that specific day, because others made confessions, my lord. For example, the one of Jack Buthelezi, which relates to Mr. Ramsipili's client. Then there's others also that it's alleged that a confession was made about his involvement by accused 4 to a different individual. A statement was taken. So as to where were these individuals, one will have to look, my lord, so that I don't mislead the court, as to whether were they present on the 26th, but it's witnesses that knows the accused, implicates them on that day, but subsequently on different days during the interaction when they were meeting and discussing, my lord.
Ingabe ngaphandle kwakheke uSifiso Zungu esikhuluma la Makosonke Zungu kanye naye ke uGwabeni Zungu, bakhona yini abanye abantu abathi ke nabo ke babekhona ke eHostel nkathi ke kwakuhlezwe lapho ke kanye nabo ke abasolwa ukhulumele ngegama lakhe ke uJack Buthelezi, kodwa umuntu kuzofanele abheke ke uqinisekisa ukuthi abobani futhi bakhuluma ngabo abasolwa ngalolo suku lolo lange-26 October 2014, noma futhi bakhuluma ngabo ngezinye insuku kamuva ke uma sekuhlanganwa ke manje.
Okay, like I said, the evidence of Constable Zungu is already on record, so I'm not going to read the record and invite you to comment thereon, right?
Yes, my lord, I'm listening.
Now let's return to this aspect, Brigadier. You've testified that accused number 2 was arrested on the Nongoma case 163 of 10/2018, correct?
Yes, by Sergeant Mohane on the 16th now, and the late Sergeant Mapena.
Yebo ngishilo ke ukuthi number 2 waboshwa ke ngazo i16 aboshwa uyena ke uMokhane kanye ke nongasekho uMabhena.
And do you have knowledge as to who the suspects were or are in that case?
I know, for example, Qiniselane. Qiniselane is also nicknamed Makimbi, was one of the suspects. In fact, his name, my lord, this Qiniselane, came up on the confession of accused 2. That is the part where he was trying to mislead us to say Qiniselane was with him as well as with Marco. And we followed that up. So this Qiniselane, who gave a statement to us, was a suspect in that other matter of Kwanongoma. Or an accused person. He's actually a convict now, my lord. He's convicted.
On that case
of Kwanongoma, yes.
Ingabe uyazi ukuthi yini obani abanye basola noma omunye umsola kulelo cala lelo laKwanongoma? Yebo ngiyazi uqiniselane elinye igama lakhe ke uMakhimbi, futhi ke lelo gama lelo ke liyavela ke kwistatement esogonyuluka sakhe umsola wesibili ke kwakula wayengasitsheli iqiniso khona ke esitshela ke ukuthi waye kanye naye ke kanye futhi noMarco, kodwa ke manje ke yena ke usewagwetshwa ke kulelo icala.
Did I understand you just now, Brigadier, to say Tiniselani was mentioned in the confession statement of accused number 2?
No, number 1. Number 1, not number 2.
Ukhona ke noma ke kwi-statement noma kusogonyuluka sikamsolwa wokuqala hayi owesibili.
Hence, I said, my lord, it was the part where he was trying to mislead us. So that lies in the confession of accused number 1.
Ingakho ke ngishilo ke ukuthi ila khona ke ewayesesikhohlisa khona ke kwi-statement sakhe umsolwa wokuqala hayi owesibili.
On the 19th of June 2020, arrangement is made for accused number 2 to be taken to the Phosphorus Magistrates Court to appear on the Nongoma case 163 of 10/2018, correct?
Yes, I was informed. That was the arrangement, my lord, by the IO. That's correct. I'm aware of that.
Yebo ngatshelwa ke ukuthi nge-19 zika June 2020 ila umsolo wesibili esethathwa khona ke ehanjiswa inkantolo yase Phosphorus eyobingelela imantshi ngalo icala lelo lakwaNongoma ngatshelwa ke ulowo oyiphenya icala.
And after a detour via Lieutenant Colonel Rappard, he is then taken to Phosphorus Magistrates Court. And according to the evidence of Mohani, that matter was not placed on record because of whatever the prosecutor's decision was. Do you know whether it was a nolle prosequi on that matter in respect of accused number 2 at the Phosphorus Magistrates Court?
No, I'm not sure what entry was made, my lord. What I was told, it was that it was not enrolled, my lord.
Engikwaziyo mina ke ukuthi ke nje icala ngalelo langa ke lalingekho kuhla lamacala ekufanele avele enkantolo.
And subsequent to that, the matter not being placed, and this is a Nongoma matter, were any efforts or endeavors made for accused number 2 to be indicted and to appear on that Nongoma case to date?
No, I think I dealt with this part, my lord, when we were dealing with the evidence in chief, that because there were a number of dockets involving these accused collectively, individually, I took then the decision that perhaps then the right approach, let's centralize, let's investigate all these dockets that are not currently on the roll, present them to the DPP for centralization purposes. Otherwise, we're looking at a situation where you'll be moving with these accused to different provinces, which will have cost impairment, but also risk. So that decision was taken by me, that in light of what has happened, because what needs to be noted, my lord, the purpose of taking the accused to Phosphorus, it was to place him as in transit, because it is allowed. You place him and then you transfer the matter to Nongoma. But there seems to, from the briefing I got, some concerns as to what needs to be done and so forth. Then I said, look, we have what we have now. We have the Kabane case insofar as accused 2 is concerned, and the matters that we're pending against accused number 1 that we're pursuing. The other matters which are dealt with them, my lord, during the trial within trial, I gave a directive to say these matters and others, let them be investigated collectively, submit them to the DPP as and when all of them are done, so that we can get then one directive and a centralized point of view for all these provinces, because they're in different provinces, my lord. They're not only in KZN.
La ingabe kuze kube namuhla ke icala lelo ke lakwaNongoma ngabe lafakwa yini kuhlala amacala enkantolo ukuze ke umsolo wesibili ayobingelela ke imantshi khona. Cha, okwenzeka ke ukuthi ngoba ke lamacala la ayekuyifunda ke ezahlukeneke labo abasolwa ke ngase mina ke ngithatha isinqumo ke sokuthi ke uma ngaba ephenywa ke awahlanganiswe ke lawo macala lawo ukuthi kwenziwe lokhu phecelezi kuthiwa i-centralization noma ke ahlanganiswe endaweni eyodwa, ngoba ke manje ukuthi wakuzosho ukuthi bazohamba izifunda ngezifunda ke futhi ke lokho ke kunemali phakathi ke manje ngase mina ngithatha isinqumo ukuthi lamacala lana awahlanganiswe ke aphenywe imina owathatha leso sinqumo leso.
And you have just stated that that Tsenisela Buthelezi, the suspect in that docket, has been convicted, right?
Yes, on that matter, yes. I know he's facing other matters, but insofar as the matter that you're talking about, he is convicted.
Yebo ngokumayelana nalelo icala ke ngiyazi ukuthi uqiniselani lo unamanye ke amacala ke abhekene nawo kodwa kulelo ke icala lelo walahlaba icala wabe futhi esegwetshwayo.
Accused number 1 has already told the court, and if needs be, tell the court again. When he was arrested, he knew that he was arrested on the Senzo Meyiwa case and not on the Nongoma case 163-10 of 2018.
Is it?
So sorry, accused number 2. So sorry.
Yes, no, I understood it
Yes.
to be. I knew it was a slipper of a tongue, my lord. So my lord, I think I dealt with this part during the evidence, during the trial within trial. If you look at the occurrence book, my lord, that was made on the 16th when he was detained, it's clearly indicating the case of Kwanongoma 163. It's there, it speaks for itself, my lord. But furthermore, the notice of rights, SAP 14A, indicates that he was given notice of rights then, not now, then, my lord, for the case of Kwanongoma, and not the case of Senzo Meyiwa. Insofar as this matter is concerned, my lord, he was indeed processed by Sergeant Mohane, who initially arrested him on the 16th of June. But for this matter, he processed him on the 26th of October 2020. That's when he was processed for this matter, my lord.
26th
Of June, 26th October 2020.
Umsolo wesibili ke akushoyo ukuthi ke yena ke uma eboshwa wayekwazi ke ukuthi wayengaboshelwa icala lakanongoma u16310 of 2018 kodwa ke wayeboshelwa icala leli lika Senzo Meyiwa. Kukhona ke kwincwadi zamaphoyisa ama SAP 13 kubhaliwe ke lapho ke futhi ke owayembopha yena ke uSergeant Mohane ukuthi wayeboshelwa lona ke icala leli u16310 of 2018 engaboshelwa lona ke icala leli lika Senzo Meyiwa uma ngabe manje ke esefakwa ke manje encwadini ke efakela leli icala phecelezi ke eprocesswa ke kwakunge 26 ka October 2020.
When I say the registers, my lord, just to put it in the right context, I'm referring to the occurrence book, because when a person is detained, taken to the police station, an occurrence book, SAP 10, gets written, the reasons thereof, and the case number in which the person is arrested for. That will also be done on the SAP 14, which is a cell register. And if you look at those two registers, accompanied by the third register, which is the SAP 14A, you only get the case of Kwanongoma. There is nowhere where you see case 636 of 10/2014. So that assertion is not correct, my lord.
Lokho ke noma leyo nkulumo leyo ayisilona ke iqiniso ngoba ke uma uzohamba ke uyekuzona ke incwadi ke ezahlukahlukene ke zamaphoyisa ngendlela ke ebizwa ngazo ama occurrence book ama SAP 13 uzothola ke kubhalwe leli icala lakanongoma ngasiyena ke u63610 ka 2014.
Accused number 2 will further tell the court respecting in regard to the Nongoma case that he does not know Qinisalani Buthelezi at all.
My lord, I don't know how should I answer that, because like I said, Sergeant Mohane was seized with that matter. There is a statement of Buthelezi. I think we went through it during the trial within trial. That implicates accused 2 in that particular matter. Although he says a number of cases in that statement, that's in Buthelezi. He talks about various cases, but we went through that docket, and it does implicate him insofar as that matter is concerned. So if he denies knowing the person who is charged there, I'm not sure how far can I take that, my lord, with the response.
Umsolo wesibili ke yena ke uzotshela ke noma ke uzothi ke uqiniselana Buthelezi akamazi nje. Uma ke esho lokho ke angazi ukuthi ngakuphendula kanjani ke lokho, kodwa ke sikhona ke istatement ke futhi ke sikhulumile ngaso ngaphambili ke le statement sakhe uqiniselane Buthelezi la ashoyo ke khona Simpiwe uqiniselane
Qiniselani Buthelezi.
La ashoyo ke uqiniselane khona ke ukuthi umsolo wesibili ke waye yingxenye ke ngalelo kulona ke lelicala akhona ke amanye akhuluma ngalo, kodwa ke kulelo nje icala ke uma ngabe yena ke umsolo wesibili ithi akamazi ke umuntu owalahlwa icala lapho angazi ukuthi ngayiphendula kanjani.
No, it's two different persons. That's the part I wanted to correct, my lord. That Qiniselane is the person charged and convicted in KwaNongoma case. In the
Manje ukulungisa lokhu uqiniselani yilona ke owathweswa icala kulela kwaNongoma. Yes.
Simphiwe Buthelezi is the person who disposed an affidavit that implicates accused 2. Is the one that I'm referring to that we had to read it in this court. Simphiwe Buthelezi.
Bese kuthi ke manje uSimphiwe Buthelezi yilona yena ke manje owenza ke istatement leso ke esifaka noma esihlanganisa yena ke umsolo wesibili isona ke lesi esasisifundile kule nkantolo.
Yes.
And further, accused number 2 will tell the court that the first time he heard that he was a suspect in a Nongoma case 163 of 10/2018, which according to Sergeant Mohani was the allegations of gun running accused number 2 and others in that docket. It was here in court during Mohani's testimony that he's involved in that case. He has never been told about that case before.
My Lord, as I said, I can take the response insofar as what the registers indicate. I was not there when he was arrested. Sergeant Mohani and the late Mabena interacted with accused 2. All I can refer to is that when he was detained, in terms of these registers that I've mentioned, the case that is reflecting there, it's KwaNongoma case 163 and not this matter before court.
Umsolo wesibili ke yena uthi ke uma esezwa ngecala leli la kwaNongoma ke kwakula enkantolo futhi ke akaze nje atshelwe ngalo lelo cala lelo mina ke engingakuphendula ke kuhamba kuficeke la kubhalwe khona ke ukuthi ke uma ubuka kuzona zonke lezo incwadi noma ke ama register ke kubhalwe icala leli u163 10/2018 la kwaNongoma akubhalwanga leli lika Senzo icala.
My Lord, it's 11:23. May we take a short adjournment?
Yeah. 15 minutes.
issues of firearms, and the conviction also stipulates such, my lord. We read it on record in terms of what
Yeah.
conviction was it.
Manje ke icala leli lakwaNongoma ke kwakuyimaphi amacala abebethweswa wona ke lapho abantu babeboshelwe lelo cala kwakuwukubulala ikhona futhi ke neibhamu na futhi ke uma ke selahlwa ke yicala kukhulunywa ngako lokho sasikufundile ke khona la enkantolo noma sakhuluma ngako la enkantolo.
Now, earlier, and I believe it was under the cross-examination by my learned colleague, Advocate Mugomezulu, he produced Exhibit VV, that is a screenshot of the case administration system of the police. And I remember you even queried how that was sought and established and found, because that was not proper disclosure. Remember that Exhibit VV?
I do remember the screenshot, my lord.
Uyakhumbula ke uMr Mgomezulu ekhipha lana ke exhibit uVV indlela ke noma ke yasemaphoyiseni leso screenshot, yebo ngiyakhumbula eveza lokho.
And that Exhibit VV is the Nongoma CAS 16310 of 2018. And I was trying to borrow from my learned colleague so that we can use that, because my instructions are that this 16310 of 2018 related to a possession of firearm regarding Qiniselani Buthelezi, and he was the sole accused person in that matter. There's no matter charges related to that docket 16310 of 2018.
No, but my lord, we read the conviction document certified by the High Court in Pietermaritzburg, and there is a matter conviction there.
Futhi ke lelo noma ke icala leli ke lakwaNongoma u16310 of 2018 lamayelana ke nokutholakala nesibhamu akukho la ukhuluma khona ke ngokubulala, kodwa ke kosenkantolo lana kule nkantolo safunda ke isinqumo senkantolo ke noma inkantolo ephakeme yasePietermaritzburg kuyakhulunywa ke lapho noma lavela ke icala lokubulala.
And the accused in that matter, my lord, the convict rather, was convicted on a number of charges, not just possession of a firearm in murder. There's a couple of ammunition, but it was a number of charges that he was convicted for.
Nokuthi ke lowo owalahlwa yicala ke noma lowo owayemsolwa ke lapho akusilona nje kuphela ke icala lo lesibhamu noma leibhamu noma elokubulala, amacala amaningi ke alahlwa yiwona enkantolo.
I've asked my learned colleague to give you his docket so that you can read Exhibit VV on record regarding the nature of the charge and the person that was convicted therein.
Yes, I can see this, my lord.
Ngiyakubona ke lokhu engikunikwayo.
This screenshot, my lord, only relates to a guilty conviction of 15 years, and it's a screenshot. I don't even know the authenticity of this document. This is why I had reservation in terms of how it was. I even went to an extent to say to Mr. Mgomezulu, if such is requested from us, we will make sure that we provide it to the defense freely and voluntarily, because they're entitled to it. The document that I obtained, that is in the docket, my lord, that is certified by the High Court, which is authentic, because I confirmed with the IO and the prosecutor that was dealing with that matter. The sentences for the conviction are much higher than 15 years, and it's a number of charges, my lord. If that needs to be confirmed, I can try and get that document again,
I was going.
and then we can deal with it on Monday. So because I left to speak to Sergeant Mukhani.
Wasn't it tendered in?
Yes.
It was, right?
Yes,
I saw it, and then, as I recall, that gentleman, although he was the only one convicted for that offense, you, as you said, your cold case investigations determined that there were other accused
Indeed, my
who
lord.
had to be arrested in respect of that very conviction.
Indeed.
That's how I recall it anyway.
lana ke i-screenshot lezi
That is correct, my lord.
esikhuluma ke ngo-15 years kuphela ke
Remember
ingakho bengishilo ke ukuthi angazi noma ukuthi kuqhamuka kuphi ke lokho kodwa mina ke enginakho ke khuluma ke ngamacala amaningi ke kanye futhi ke manje benkantolo isho ke ukuthi nanoma njena kulona kuphela owalahla icala kodwa ke babe khona ke nabanye abasola kulelo cala futhi ke isigwebo iminyaka ke ayithola ke labo miningi ngaphezulu kwalo 15 years obhaliwe laphayana uma kuwukuthi ke abameli bayafuna ke singabatholela ke leyo mininingwane leyo ngoba ngakhuluma naye ke wayiphenya lelo cala kanye nomshushisi wenkantolo ephakeme yase Pietermaritzburg.
My Lord,
Yeah.
let me proceed whilst
No, fine.
the relevant exhibit is being obtained.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And now you also mentioned, Brigadier, that a certain Simpiwe, I think Buthelezi, made a statement implicating accused number 2 in particular. Is that correct?
Yes, but so yes, that's correct. But the correct context is that insofar as the Wanongoma case. Yes, that's what I've said. my lord.
Ukhulumile ke ngoSimphiwe Buthelezi usho ke ukuthi ke naye ke esho ukuthi ke umsolo wesibili ke naye ke wembandakanyeka yebo kodwa ke angikusho ukuthi lokho ekhuluma ngaye ke ngecala lakwaNongoma.
And it is the same Sipho Buthelezi, my lord, that I said also implicated accused 3 and 4 insofar as this case is concerned when I took a statement. But if you go to the statement that he made to Wanongoma case, he says a lot and he also covers this matter. So I don't want to be ahead of your questions.
Futhi ke uyena ke lo Simphiwe Buthelezi engikhulumile ngaye ngaphambilini ke ngithi ke yena ke efaka ke umsolo wesithathu kanye nowesine kulona ke lecala leli kodwa ke futhi ke uma ke ku-statement sakhe asenzile ke kulela icala lakwaNongoma uningi ke akushilo ke lapho ekhuluma nangalo lecala leli.
When did Simpiwe Buthelezi make a statement? Let's start first in the Nongoma case 16310 of 2018, implicating the involvement of accused number 2.
My lord, it was taken by Sergeant Mohana. Again, I left to, because I gave that docket afterwards for him to carry on with the investigation of all other dockets. So that is a date I can get for you or get a copy for you on Monday.
Yes.
But it was commissioned by Sergeant Mohane, and I think it was around that time, either before he was arrested, but around that time, just around the time of June 2020, my recollection. I just don't recall the exact date, my lord.
Kungafanele ngiyobheka ke ukuthi ke uSiphiwe Buthelezi lona ke usho nini ke noma ukhuluma nini ke la afaka khona umsolo wesibili nanje babengishilo ukuthi ke idokotela lelo engalidlulisela kena ke uSergeant Mohane kuzofanele ngiyobheka ke kodwa kusona nje leso sikhathi eduze ke sokuthi nokuboshwa kwakhe ngayo uJune 2020.
And the statement regarding what you say, he implicated the other accused persons now on 16310 of 2014, the Phosphorus matter.
Yes, that one is here, my lord. So I'll just have to find the correct index and see when it was commissioned. It was taken by me, so I'll just have to find it, my lord. The court can bear with me. This one in suffice docket 636 of 10/2014, my lord. It was commissioned on the 4th of July 2020, 04 July 2020. It was commissioned by me, my lord.
2020.
Yes.
Le statement ke le uthi kusona ke la uthi khona ke uSimphiwe Buthelezi ke ukhuluma ngabanye abasolwa ke mayelana naleli cala 63610 of 2014 kwakungeyi-4 zika July 2020 futhi yimina ke umuntu owayesicommission.
And that Simpiwe Buthelezi, is he still alive or is he a deceased person? Do you know?
I know he's deceased. It was brought up here by Mr. Mgomezulu during the cross-examination, my lord. But I can confirm that he is deceased indeed.
Ngiyazi ke ukuthi uSimphiwe Buthelezi usewashona ke into leyo ke eyaqinisekiswa ke uyena ke Mr. Mgomezulu kodwa nami ke ngakusho ke ukuthi ke akasekho emhlabeni.
Now, accused number 2 will should the need arise, tell this court that he does not know this Simpiwe Buthelezi. He does not know Teniselani Buthelezi. He does not even know the Constable Zungu that testified in this case.
No, but he'll be misleading, my lord. If you look at his confession that he made to the magistrate, he mentions that as they were moving at some stage with one Polo Vivo, and I can quote it verbatim if you want us to go there. They met another Polo Vivo and Simpiwe. He mentions the name Simpiwe. Spoke to some of the accused. He mentioned him by name in that, and I can get to it quickly if you want.
Now we'll go to that. I'm just putting the version.
So wesibili-ke uma ithuba likhona-ke noma ibanjidiko sikhona-ke uzosho-ke ukuthi-ke uSimpiwe Buthelezi, Toniselani Buthelezi kanye naye-ke uConstable Zungu owethula ubufakazi lana kule nkantolo akabazi. Uma esho lokho-ke kuzoba-ke kuwukuthi-ke uyakhohlisa-ke lapho ngoba-ke kwistatement sakhe-ke asenza-ke lesi asenza phambi kwayo-ke imantshi uyasho ukuthi-ke babehamba ngePolo Vivo base behlangana nenye iPolo Vivo uzambize ngegama-ke futhi athi uSimpiwe wakhuluma nabanye babasola.
Yes, ma'am.
And I just want to make one correction. I took an instruction during the short adjournment. Accused number 2 will say he knows Gwabeni, but he didn't know him as Sfiso Zungu. He does not know the name Sfiso. He only knows him as Gwabeni. And earlier on, I put a proposition to you that he doesn't know him.
No, I understood, my lord.
Ngifuna nje ukuthi-ke ngilungise lokhu-ke ngikhulumile nomsolwa-ke ukuthi-ke uyamazi-ke uGwabeni ebengazi-ke ukuthi-ke igama lakhe uSfiso Zungu. Mina-ke nanjengommeli wakhe ngithe kuwena-ke akamazi kodwa yena-ke uthi uyamazi uGwabeni. And
mention was made, I don't believe you did, you may have, but particularly Sergeant Mohani, that also at Fostoras, accused number 2 had a matter of possession or dealing in drugs, a 534 docket, I don't know the rest of the case number, that was raised together with when we raised issue about the 163 matter, that they be brought to court. And we were informed that that docket was taken to, I believe, the DPP for decision or the SPP, and it had never returned. Do you know anything about that?
I know insofar as that part is concerned, my lord, but so I know the part that it was taken and it never returned, because I inquired when I was given a directive by the state advocate to bring the phosphorus, the Wanongoma docket together with this docket. It's part of the instruction I was given to collect. Now, I am aware that the second docket of phosphorus, which has to do with drugs, drug-related, was taken and it seems it's missing, my lord, because it's nowhere to be found. That is insofar as I know. And I do know that on that specific day, based on what I was briefed by Sergeant Mohani, not that I laid that evidence, that one, it was to place him on this matter, this is Nongoma case, as in transit, so that he gets transferred, but also add him on this case of the drugs. But that's the briefing I got, so I'm aware insofar as what I'm telling this court, my lord.
Kune dokodoke u534 la khona-ke ayethweswa icala leyidakamizwa-ke umsolwa kuthiwa lelo cala so lelo dokodoke lahanjiswa-ke ukuthi-ke abashushisi bathathe isinqumo kodwa-ke alibuyanga-ke. Yebo, ngiyakwazi-ke lokho uma kufika-ke lapho-ke ukuthi-ke impela-ke idokotela lelo lahanjiswa-ke kodwa-ke ukuthi libuye alibuyanga. Nangenkathi-ke sengibriefwa-ke uyena-ke uSergeant Mohani futhi-ke nomshushisi-ke engicela-ke ukuthi manje sekufanele-ke lelo dokotela lelo lihlanganiswe-ke naleli lakwaNongoma. Ngiyazi-ke mayelana nalokho ukuthi alikaze libuye.
Yes.
Now, as stated, accused number 2 will state that he has never resided in the Fostoras area. He was first residing from 2009 to 2016 in Carltonville, where he worked at Sibanye. Thereafter, from 2017 onwards, he worked in Rustenburg, where he worked until he was arrested. So he does not know anything about that drugs case, the 534 that was mentioned by Mohani, and he denies any involvement and any knowledge of that matter.
My lord, like I said, that Sergeant Mohani, I think, will be in a better position to deal with that aspect, my lord.
Umsolwa wesibili-ke akushoyo ukuthi-ke akakaze ahlale eFostoras akazi lutho ke mayelana nalelo cala ke lokuthi ke wathola ke nezidakamizwa lelo lase-Phosphorus nokuthi kusuka ngaye ke u-2009 kwayofica ke ngo-2016 wayehlala eCarltonville ukusuka ke ngo-2017 kwayofica ke ngesikhathi la aboshwa khona ke wayehlala eRustenburg akazi lutho ke ngalokho lokho ke ungafanele ke noma ke umuntu osengaphendla kangcono ke lapho uyena uSergeant Mufati.
And as stated regarding the Nongoma case 16310 of 2014, he says for the first time he heard about that matter was here in this court.
163-10-2018.
163 of 10 2018, the Nongoma case. He heard for the first time about that matter here when Sergeant Mohane testified about it. He does not have any knowledge thereof and he denies any involvement regarding that matter.
My Lord, like I said, I was not there when he was approached. All I can confirm is that the processing position, when he was detained at Pretoria North, he was processed under Nongoma 163 of 10/2018 accordingly, because you can't just keep a person without indicating what is he detained for. The case that is reflecting there, it's Nongoma 163 of 10/2018. When he was given the notice of rights, where he signed for receiving such nights, because the deponent signed, and that signature looks similar to the ones that are attached on the confession, he signed, and the case that is reflected there, it's still Nongoma case 163 of 10/2018, my Lord.
Msolo wesibili ke uthi ke malana ke necala leli ke lakwaNongoma u-16310 of 2018 akazi lutho ke ngalelo cala akakazeke athweswe lelo cala lelo noma ke aboshelwe lona ke engikwaziyo ke mina ukuthi ke ePretoria North uma ngabe ke umsolo wakhe waye lapho nokuthi futhi ke ebhalwa ke noma ke eprocesswa ke kuzona incwadi ke zalapho naye ke futhi esayinayo noma ke isignature ke elapho efanayo ke naleya ekuyona ke iconvention ila asayina khona ke futhi esayina ke futhi kubhale lona icala leliya lakwaNongoma u-16310 of 2018.
And you had stated that when you approached Colonel Zungu, he told you that, or you had knowledge that his name was coming up, that he was present at the Basotho Hostel on the 26th of 10/2014, correct?
Yes, but I suppose you mean Constable Zungu, I understand you.
Constable Zungu, yes.
Yes, absolutely, that's correct, my Lord.
Uma ngabe usuyohlangana naye ke noma ukhuluma naye ke uConstable Zungu nanjengoba ushilo ke noma ke ushilo ke ukuthi wasomtshela ukuthi ke manje igama lakhe liyavela ke nanjengomuntu owaye khona ke nge-26 ka-October 2014 eBasotho Hostel, yebo.
And the persons that informed you that Constable Zungu was present at Basotho Hostel, did they tell you that whether or not he was involved, or simply what did they tell you?
No, what I know, my Lord, specifically the two statements, Makosonke and Sifiso, they didn't implicate him, except to say he was present. It was not only him. There were a lot of sort of like homeboys. It was a day where they do this traditional dancing. My understanding of what was happening on that day, my Lord.
uMakhosonke kanye naye ke uSifiso ababekusho ke noma babengitshela khona ke ukuthi nje wayekhona ke ngalelo langa lapho uConstable Zungu noma kwakuhlangene ke abafana ke babuya khona ke emakhaya ukuthi ke kwaku usinwa ke noma ke kuthula ingoma ke ngalelo langa lelo babengathi wayeyingcenye ke yalokho kwenze kodwa babengitshela nje ukuthi wayekhona.
All right, Brigadier. Now let's move on to a different aspect altogether, which is now you have done your investigations. Accused 2 is in custody. Come October, you then approach the court in Boksburg, I believe, and you apply for a J50 warrant for him and the other accused persons before court, right?
Correct, my Lord.
Kuyiqiniso ke ukuthi manje kuphenyiswe lenziwe ke ngase ngiya ke enkantolo noma kwango-October ke ngaye enkantolo ngiyokwenza ke isicelo ke sale ncwadi ke phecelezi bathi i-J50 noma ke incwadi egunyazisa ukuboshwa kwakhe umsolo kanye nabanye ke abaphambi kwenkantolo.
Yes, but the proper sequence of how we got them, my Lord. First, the memorandum was prepared, then it was directed to the DPP to say this is the evidence, this is now prior to the court and the applications of the warrants. And then after the presentation, then an indictment, an instruction from the DPP came to say the following people must be indicted, and that is accused number 1 up to 5. Subsequent to that directive, that indictment, my lord, that's when I applied. So the first directive to say accused 1 to 5 must be charged and must come and account for this offense came from the DPP.
Okwenzeka-ke kodwa-ke okwenzeka uma ngizokusho-ke ngokulandelana kwakho ukuthi-ke kwaqale kwabhalwa banencwadi-ke noma mphecelezi-ke lokho kubhalwa ngokuthi-ke i-memorandum eyase indluliselwa-ke kulabo abaphethe abashushisi ihhovisi labo i-DPP. Emuva kwalokho-ke ila manje sekuthathwa isinqumo khona-ke ukuthi naba-ke abasolwa-ke phecelezi-ke indictment ekufanele manje-ke bathweswe amacala futhi babe sebeyavela-ke phambi kwenkantolo. Kwangaphambi lokho kwenzeka phambi kokuthi-ke kulandele incwadi lena-ke manje noma isicelo lesi se-J50.
And in support of the application for the Section 43 warrant, you then deposed to a supporting affidavits indexed 8284, I think ABC.
What is the index number?
8284.
284.
Yes.
Get to the index number.
Is that the affidavit that you deposed in support of the respective J50 applications for the accused persons before court?
No. This one, my lord, is dated 2024-0403. My application was made in 2020, so I'm looking at the date stamp. So this would be an application, I think, for some applications of 205s. The application for J50s was made in October 2020. So I see the date here, like the date on the first page is 2024-0403. So it's not the right application, my lord.
Akusona-ke lesi sicelo ngikhuluma ngaso ngoba-ke lana istempu-ke idate u-2024-0403 kusho ukuthi ngangenza esinye-ke isicelo lesi sicelo ngikhuluma ngaso-ke sencwadi egunyazisa ukuboshwa kwabasolwa kwakungo-October ka-2020.
Sorry, Brigadier, I may have taken the wrong affidavits. I think if you look at your index and assist me if you can.
Yes. I think let me try and do
the
that.
affidavits in support of
The J50s.
The J50s.
Yes, let me try and do that. Yes, this copy is correct.
Is
You
that
like a copy then?
Yes,
Yes.
It's one A198.
Okay. And that affidavit, Brigadier, before we go into the contents, was it in respect for the application for all the accused persons, J50s?
Yes.
Okay.
I've indicated from accused 1, their names are mentioned, 4.1
Okay.
up to 4.5.
Amagama ke abhaliwe laba ukuthi ke babu isicelo sokuthi kuboshwe ke abo banika amagama abhaliwe ku 4.1 kufika ke ku 4.5.
With leave of the court, my lord, because I'm going to ask questions emanating from this A198 from the Brigadier. I beg leave that he reads the contents of the affidavit on record.
Okay, my lord. So it reads as follows, my lord.
How many pages is it?
8 pages.
8.
Yes, 8 pages long.
Wasn't it handed up that exhibit what? Mr. Balui, I recall that document was handed in.
I'm just checking. I know it was read into the record.
It was read into the. It was read by Mr. Gomezu.
Correct, my lord.
My lord, to make it easier so that I can...
No, I'm going to adjourn so that you can read the record. Because I remember Mr. Gomezu read that and actually made submissions that it's unlawful, etc., etc.
Okay.
Yes, it was, my lord. I do.
Hello?
Yes, it was. I agree, my lord.
Yeah.
We've got Exhibit ZZ.
Exhibit?
ZZ statement by Brigadier Gininda dated 23 October 2020.
Yes, that's the one.
Yes, it's Exhibit ZZ.
Okay, let me adjourn so that you
Yes.
guys
Yes.
read it.
Yeah. Thank you, my lord.
Because
I don't think...
they'll be surprised that every time counsel stands up, he reads the same affidavit, then thereafter it's Mr. Nisi, thereafter it's you, etc., etc.
Yeah, even on the day, my lord, I
Hello?
believe when Mr. Gomez Zulu was...
Yeah, maybe you were not
I
here.
was not present, I
Yeah,
remember
no, I
that.
agree.
Yes.
Okay, so how long do you need to read it? Even you, Brigadier.
My
Me,
lord, let me come in because the general consensus, and we had sought to agree with the court later, was that we adjourn at 1 today. Both Mr. Jonas, the Brigadier, and my colleagues, we had agreed that we adjourn at 1 today. Perhaps we could adjourn for the day and come on Monday.
What's the reason for adjourning at 1 o'clock?
It's already past 12, man. I'm not sure. It's already 20 past 12.
20 past 12.
Yes. So rather than the court comes at 1 and then we adjourn, so we rather adjourn for the day.
Okay, is it a consensus that you adjourn at 1? I mean, yeah, or whatever.
The only dissenting voice always will be the good doctor, my lord.
You want to start cross-examining on that affidavit. That's why I was saying, let me adjourn, you read it. I take it you have read it. Because
No,
the
my lord.
Brigadier must have read it also.
I haven't read it, my lord.
Oh, you haven't read it.
I
Okay,
got the
fine.
wrong affidavits
Oh,
that
okay,
were in
fine.
support of different applications. I have read these ones, my lord.
So what do you suggest?
Well, time is becoming of the essence now. We before we adjourn, my lord, we just want to place something on record, but perhaps we can adjourn and let's discuss the way forward regarding this affidavit, and we can then resume afterwards.
What's the time you said?
It's 21 past 12.
And it's you say it's 7 pages.
8 pages.
8 pages.
Yeah.
Let me adjourn for 10 minutes and then read it and then you'll tell me what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Brother.
what are you deciding?
I think Mr. Ramsipil will address the.
Oh, okay, yes, Mr. Ramsey.
As the court proceeds, my lord, indeed, I've been finished with A198, and indeed it was admitted as an exhibit of this court. That means.
On which day was it admitted, by the way?
It was during the trial within.
Yes, I know. Which day? Just give us the date so that we've got the record also.
Yeah, we'll have to check the record.
But it was not only admitted, it was read.
Yes.
And it's Mr. Mugomezelo who insisted that it should be read.
As the court pleases, my lord, therefore, I would not.
No, you're entitled to cross-examine. All
Yes.
I'm just concerned
Yes.
about is anybody who reads this record is going to think we are mad.
Yeah, because
I
it's
mean,
repetition.
it was read.
Yes.
All of it.
Yes.
I remember Brigadier Ginina even read who attested blah blah. Mkhan is it?
Mohola.
Mohola.
Correct, my lord.
Yeah.
Yes, in the night.
You've got the right to cross-examine him, no problem.
Yes, that's correct, my lord. I think Advocate Bado wants to.
Yes, sir.
Address the court.
Yeah, it's on a different matter, my lord.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. I understand from Mr. Ramsipili that he's going to request that we stand down until Monday.
Yeah.
But just before we stand down, there are just two issues that we want to address.
Yeah, okay, fine. No, I'm all ears.
Yes. Well, the first one, my lord, is Exhibit Triple U.
Triple U.
U that was handed up yesterday. It's the
Yeah, because I don't have it.
statement of Mr. Absalom
Absalom
Mhlahlezi Zungu.
Shahlesi Zuma. Triple U, ne? Who attested this?
It was myself. This
Yeah.
one of Mrs. Zungu. It was done by me, my lord.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I've got that now.
I don't know if that copy is legible enough, but there's another copy if that one is not legible enough.
You know what? If you guys have got typists at the DPP.
Yes, we do have
Yeah,
typists.
normally what would happen, because these judges, some of them, not me, are very particular.
Yes.
Ask you, why didn't you type it? And then you attach the cursive one onto this. I can't read this.
There is a tab.
Oh yeah, fine, yeah. So if you have a typed version, you can make copies.
Yeah, even
attach
if
them.
the particulars have been
Yeah,
certain particulars omitted, but it is the same.
okay. Yeah, fine, okay.
Affidavit.
Now I can see this. And the state, I mean the defense also, you must give them the one like this.
Yes,
Legible also. Have you given them?
they do have it.
They do have it.
Yes.
Oh, mina yang bandulula.
Then earlier on, my lord, Brigadier Gininda was asked about the sentence
Yeah, sentence, okay.
of Qiniselana Buthelezi.
Yeah.
And we have located the relevant portion of the record. It was on the 23rd of January 2024,
Yeah.
page 16,
Right.
and it was during cross-examination by Mr. Mgomezulu, and the following appears on record from line 11.
Okay.
Cross-examination by Mr. Mgomezulu. We were dealing with the arrest of accused 2 on 16 June 2020 with the murder case of Kwanongoma. So I have perused the docket 163/4/2018, and I have confirmed that Mr. Qiniselane Buthelezi was sentenced. Then Brigadier Gininda responded as follows: correct, my lord. He was actually convicted of 6 counts, my lord. Yesterday, I made a mistake of not taking the B section where the sentence was actually recorded
Yeah.
and also stamped by the High Court of Pietermaritzburg. So he was sentenced on 6 counts, including a murder charge and obvious ammunition and other counts, but they are all listed here and counsel have seen them. Court, no, just mention it because I'm not aware. Then Brigadier Geninda, my lord, he was convicted on count 1, which is a count of murder, read with section 51(1), part 1 of schedule 2 of Act 105 of 1997,
Yes.
and further read with section 258 of Act 51 of 1977, and on that count, the accused was sentenced to undergo life imprisonment. Then count 2, attempted murder, read with section 258 of Act 51 of 1977. The accused was sentenced to undergo 7 years imprisonment. Count 3, contravention of section 3 of the Firearms Control Act 60 of 2000. Unlawful possession of firearm. On that count, the accused was sentenced to undergo 15 years imprisonment. Count 4, contravention of section 90 of the Firearms Control Act 60 of 2000, possession of unlawful ammunition. The accused was sentenced to undergo 2 years imprisonment. Count 11, contravention of section 3 of the Firearms Control Act 60 of 2000, unlawful possession of firearm. The accused was sentenced to undergo 15 years imprisonment. The last count, count 12, contravention of section 41(4)(f) of the Firearms Control Act 60 of 2000, possession of prohibited firearm, to wit, a firearm with serial number erased. The accused was sentenced to undergo 2 years imprisonment.
Yeah.
That was the sentence, my lord. That's the response of Brigadier Geninda.
I will, sorry. Sorry, my lord.
Shaya mapiano la iko.
I forgot it. It was. George, are you done with your address? Ubephendula ke la umshushisi obekushiwo ke nobekhulunywa ngaphambilini uMr Ramusipile mayelana ke naso isigwebo uqiniselane asithola ke ejele noma ke asithola uma evela ke enkantolo yase Pietermaritzburg. Washo wathi ufunda ke kwakunge 23 zika January 2024 ku page 16 la ayebuzwa khona ke nemihlonyo imibuzo uyena uMr Mngomezulu kwaphenduleka ngalendlela ke elandelayo noma uma kufundwa ke ukuthi ke igwebo ayithola ke yena uqiniselane kwapho amacala ke noma ke walahlwa amacala ayisithupha faka phakathi kwawo ke icala lokubulala. Ubheka ukuthi igwebo ke ayithola ke lapho ezoqala ke kwakuyicala lokubulala la inkantolo ke yamgweba khona ke udilika jele bese kuthi icala lesibili ke kwakuzama ukubulala la inkantolo yamnikeza khona ke iminyaka eyisikhombisa phakathi ejele bese kuthi icala lesithathu ilona ke eliphathelene nazo ibhamu la khona ke inkantolo yase imgweba ke iminyaka ewu15 ngaphakathi ejele. Elesine lona ke icala nalo ke futhi laliphathelene nazo ke ibhamu wasethola iminyaka emibili phakathi ejele. Kanti ke eleshumi nanye 11 nalo ke liphathelene nebhamu futhi wathola khona ke iminyaka ewu15 phakathi ejele. Kwase kuthi ke elilandelayo icala count 12 nalo-ke futhi kwakuyicala eliphathelene nazo i-IBAM inkantolo yasimnikeza-ke iminyaka emibili phakathi ejele. Iwona-ke lawo amacala ayewathwesiwe yena-ke uqiniselane Buthelezi wase futhi elahlwa yiwona-ke lawo macala lawo enkantolo.
Okay.
Kanye futhi-ke nodaba-ke lwestatement lesiya befisa ukuthi-ke sifunde yena-ke uMr Msipile ku-exhibit U kuyashiwo-ke ukuthi leso statement leso ngaphambilini sasifundiwe-ke inkantolo igwema nje ukuthi-ke sasesifundiwe-ke nkathi uMr Mngomezulu ehloma yena-ke ubrigadier ngemibuzo ukuthi manje sesiphinde futhi sifunde leso statement kodwa-ke safundwa-ke sonke ngaphambilini.
Yes, so what do we do now?
My Lord, I would request that we stand and then I resume my cross-examination on the two confession statements on Monday. On Monday, my Lord.
Are you available on Monday?
Yes, I am available on Monday, but Tuesday then I'm starting to write. But Monday I'll be here, my Lord.
You are writing from Wednesday?
Yes.
I mean Tuesday, Wednesday?
So Tuesday and Wednesday I'm not available, my Lord. I'm available on Thursday. Friday I'm not available, and that other Monday. But after that other Monday, then I'm available all the way. So the last module is on the 25th.
Iyacela-ke baba Msipile ukuthi-ke ngoba-ke manje usefuna uqala-ke imibuzo mayelana-ke nazo itatimend lezi kuthiwa-ke umsolo wesibili wagonyuluka-ke kuzona. Iyacela-ke ukuthi manje ahlehliseke icala kuze kube ngumsombuluko.
Okay, fine. For those reasons, we shall postpone the case to Monday, 10 o'clock.
Ngalezo izathu-ke sokuya ngumsombuluko ngo-10.
Thank you, my Lord.